Have you ever wondered why silence can feel so unsettling, like a space we're afraid to step into? In a world that glorifies constant connection, could it be that solitude holds a secret we've been too distracted to notice? And what if I told you that those quiet, solitary moments, the ones we tend to avoid, are actually the doorway to a deeper peace and power within yourself? Today, we're diving into something that might just shift the way you look at your life, and at your own company. Most people fear being alone. But what if solitude was your greatest power? Welcome to Stoic Journal. Today, we uncover how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can guide you to turn singlehood into your most fulfilling journey. It's easy to get swept up in the noise of everyday life. Notifications buzzing, conversations swirling, social media never-ending. Somewhere in the chaos, we start to fear stillness. We run from it. We worry that in the silence, something will rise up inside us, something we might not be ready to face. But what happens when you don't run? What if, instead of filling the void with distractions, you chose to stay still, to listen, and to truly meet yourself? What if solitude wasn't a punishment, but a path? The truth is, within that quiet space lies a profound opportunity to know yourself more deeply, to reconnect with your inner strength, and to discover a kind of fulfillment that doesn't rely on anyone or anything else. That's exactly what we're exploring today. Guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, we'll take a journey into the heart of solitude, into a space that teaches self-sufficiency, emotional resilience, and unshakable peace. Stoic philosophy, though ancient, offers deeply relevant lessons for the modern world. It reminds us that happiness and strength are not found in the external, they are cultivated within. So today, you won't just learn how to be alone. You'll learn how to thrive in it. You'll learn how to transform solitude into strength, and stillness into self-mastery. If you've ever felt the sting of loneliness, if you've ever wondered why the silence feels so loud, or if you're just curious about what might be waiting for you on the other side of constant connection, then you're exactly where you need to be. Together, let's rediscover the power of being alone. Let's flip the narrative that solitude is something to fear, and instead, learn how to use it as one of the greatest tools for personal growth and inner freedom. And don't skip ahead, because every moment of this conversation is a step closer to living a life filled with clarity, confidence, and calm, shaped by the Stoic way of thinking. Now, let's ease into the next part of our journey, where we begin to break down exactly how solitude becomes strength, and what it means to stand firm in your own presence when the world around you is constantly pulling you away. And now that we've begun to see the quiet strength hidden in solitude, let's turn to something just as powerful, the way we connect with others in a world that never stops moving. We often think of being alone and being social as opposites. But Stoicism teaches us a deeper truth, that solitude and connection are not enemies, they are partners in growth. Stoicism doesn't just teach us how to endure when we're alone. It invites us to fully appreciate every interaction we have with others, not as distractions or mere obligations, but as opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to expand our minds, to stretch our understanding, and to give something meaningful back to the world. Think about it for a moment. Every single person you meet, whether a friend, a stranger, a co-worker, or even someone you only see once in your life, offers you a new perspective, a new lens through which to see the world. They bring with them stories, experiences, emotions, and beliefs that are completely different from yours. And just by listening, by being present, by engaging with an open heart, you start to evolve. When you're not bound by one fixed routine, one tight-knit group, or one narrow comfort zone, you naturally begin to explore, to wander, to discover. You may find yourself in unexpected places, doing things you never imagined you'd enjoy, learning skills you never thought you'd need, and in the process, uncovering sides of yourself that were waiting quietly beneath the surface. The Stoics had a word for this broader way of living, cosmopolitanism, the idea that we are all citizens of the world, bound not by borders but by a shared humanity. And what better way to live out this belief than by embracing the diversity of people and experiences that life constantly places before us? Each connection, yes, even the small ones, adds something to who you are. A short conversation at a cafe, a kind word exchanged with a neighbor, a moment of empathy shared with a stranger. These aren't just passing moments. They're threads in the rich and colorful tapestry of your life. Each of these threads brings something unique: kindness, joy, vulnerability, resilience, and together, they weave a picture of who you are becoming. So as you walk this path of singlehood, of self-discovery, of mindful living, remember, every encounter is a lesson. Every friendship is a gift. Every connection, no matter how fleeting, is a mirror that shows you a little more of yourself. And in this journey, not just through the outer world, but deep into your own inner self, Stoicism becomes your compass. Its wisdom guides you to use your time with care, to make choices that reflect your values, and to live with intention. As we move forward, we'll go even deeper. What does it truly mean to live with virtue? How can we train ourselves, not just to survive life's challenges, but to transform them into the very fuel for our growth? Let's continue this journey into the next layer of Stoic wisdom, where we'll explore how daily choices shape the strength of our character. Having seen how every connection adds depth to who we are, let's now turn inward, toward the one resource more precious than any relationship, possession, or title, our time. Because the truth is this: the most valuable currency you have isn't money. It's time. And how you choose to spend it will shape the very architecture of your life. When you're not part of a duo, when you're walking this path independently, something powerful happens. Every decision, every small choice, from how you spend your mornings, to what books you read, to which dreams you dare to chase, becomes entirely yours. It's not about isolation. It's about intention. It's not solitude for the sake of being alone. It's solitude for the sake of becoming. This is your season of self-discovery, of self-mastery, and ultimately, of self-fulfillment. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius once wrote about the deep importance of living in harmony with one's true nature. And what better way to honor that truth, than by giving your time to what truly sets your soul alight? Maybe that means learning a new language just because you've always wanted to. Or finally picking up that guitar that's been collecting dust in the corner. Or simply savoring the soft stillness of dawn with a hot cup of coffee and your thoughts. These moments might seem small, but they're sacred, because they're yours. Yours to explore, to cherish, to grow in. Every second, yes, even the quiet, seemingly uneventful ones, is a seed, a chance to create, to laugh, to reflect, to become more fully you. And here's the part that truly sets Stoic wisdom apart: it doesn't stop at enjoyment. It goes deeper. It urges us to use our time not just to indulge, but to reflect. It teaches us that introspection is not a luxury, it's a discipline. To look back at the day with honesty. To examine your thoughts, your choices, your intentions. To ask, what did I learn today? Did I live with purpose? Am I shaping the life I want, or just drifting through it? Because when you spend your time with awareness, when you make room for thought, for silence, for deliberate action, you're not just getting through life. You're sculpting it. you're crafting something rich, textured, and meaningful. This journey of singlehood isn't just a break between chapters. It's a canvas. And time is your paintbrush. So take it seriously. Use it wisely. And trust that in doing so, you're not just finding joy. You're finding yourself. And as we move forward, we'll begin to explore how discipline, daily rituals, and personal responsibility can become the pillars of your strongest self, the self that isn't just surviving, but thriving in full alignment with your highest values. After learning how time can be your most powerful investment, let's now look at another essential tool that can shape your future, your money. Not in the way society often defines it, but through the lens of intention, simplicity, and self-respect. Because how you spend your money is a mirror, a reflection of who you are, and who you're striving to become. So ask yourself, are you spending with purpose? Are you building a life that reflects your values, or one that's reacting to pressure? This journey isn't just about pinching pennies or hoarding savings. It's about using financial freedom as a path to personal freedom. When you're single, you hold something incredibly powerful in your hands: autonomy. You're no longer tied to someone else's spending habits, shared responsibilities, or external expectations. You get to choose. No more impulse buying gifts just to impress. No more expensive dates that end in emotional debt. No more feeling obligated to join in big group celebrations that leave your bank account gasping for air. Instead, each dollar you don't spend on fleeting validation becomes a dollar you can invest in your future, in your peace of mind, in your dreams, in the life you truly want to live. Maybe it's setting money aside for that soul-nourishing trip you've always dreamed of. Or starting your own creative project, business, or passion endeavor. Or simply building a safety net, a quiet confidence, that lets you breathe easier at night. This is where Stoicism steps in, grounding us with timeless wisdom. Stoics never taught us to reject pleasure. They didn't preach deprivation. What they did teach was this: that joy isn't found in luxury, it's found in alignment. In choosing the simple over the excessive. The meaningful over the mindless. The future over the fleeting. True wealth, they said, isn't counted in things. It's counted in peace, in self-sufficiency, in clarity of purpose. And as a single person, you have the rare opportunity to design your financial life with incredible clarity and care, no compromises, no noise, just you and what matters most to you. So the next time you pause before spending, ask, does this bring me closer to who I want to be? Does this purchase align with the life I'm trying to build? Because saving money isn't just about what you're avoiding. It's about what you're making possible. And as we move ahead, we'll dive deeper into the next layer: how discipline, mental, emotional, and physical, can be your daily act of freedom, shaping not just your choices, but your identity. As we've seen, choosing how to spend your money with purpose is not just a financial decision, it's a reflection of who you're becoming. Now, let's ask the next important question. What choices will contribute most to your long-term growth and lasting happiness? Financial independence isn't just about having money in the bank. It's about creating space in your life, space to breathe, to choose, to live with intention. When you're no longer caught in the cycle of spending for appearances or external validation, you gain something rare in today's world: the ability to live deliberately. You can pause and ask yourself, does this decision serve only today's comfort, or tomorrow's vision? This is the kind of awareness Stoic philosophy urges us to cultivate: clarity of purpose, steadiness of mind, and above all, equanimity. Equanimity means facing both the highs and the lows of life with balance. It means not being tossed around by every emotional wave or financial surprise. And when you've built a buffer, emotionally and financially, you give yourself the gift of calm readiness. You move through life with more grace, more freedom, more control. This autonomy is not just practical, it's deeply Stoic. It's the living embodiment of self-sufficiency, the ability to choose what to pursue, when to say no, and how to respond to the world, not react to it. But let's pivot for a moment. In a world that glorifies romantic relationships, being single often gets misunderstood. Yet, it offers a rare and powerful vantage point, a chance to explore the full spectrum of love, in all its forms. Stoicism never dismisses love. In fact, it embraces the idea that love is essential to the human experience. But it reframes it. Instead of chasing love as the only path to happiness, Stoics invite us to begin where all deep love must start, within ourselves. Being single is a sacred space. A time to nurture self-love, not vanity, but genuine respect for who you are. It's about becoming your own ally. Learning to enjoy your own company. Acknowledging your strengths without arrogance. Working on your flaws without shame. This kind of love, the quiet, grounded, self-respecting kind, is the foundation of all other forms of love. And Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius remind us that true contentment comes not from another's affection, but from being at peace with yourself. And here's where it gets even richer: once you've cultivated that inner peace, you open the door to real connection, not desperate clinging, but mutual respect. Being single allows you to build meaningful friendships with people who see you as you are, not as someone you're trying to become to fit a role. It gives you time to invest in those who challenge you, who inspire you, and who genuinely make your life brighter. In these connections, free of romantic pressure, you discover the purest forms of companionship, generosity, and joy. And as we prepare to move forward, let's explore what these friendships and relationships teach us, not just about others, but about how to love better, live wiser, and serve the greater good in a world that needs more connection grounded in virtue. After nurturing deeper friendships rooted in honesty and mutual respect, there's one more form of connection that often gets overlooked, yet may be the most fulfilling of all: platonic love. This is love without expectation. Love without possession. A kind of love that gives simply because it wants to, not because it's looking for anything in return. Stoicism holds these bonds in high regard. To the Stoics, a friend is not a distraction from the path of virtue. A true friend is a fellow traveler, someone walking beside you through the highs and lows of life, helping you grow, stay grounded, and live with integrity. And this phase of your life, unencumbered by the demands of romantic entanglement, is a rare and golden opportunity to go beyond the personal, and extend love outward. To your community. To those in need. To those whose lives you can touch, even in small ways. Join a local project. Volunteer at a shelter. Lend an ear to someone struggling. Or simply offer kindness where it's needed most. These acts aren't just nice, they're transformative. They embody the Stoic principle of cosmopolitanism, the belief that we are all citizens of a greater world, part of a shared human family, with a responsibility to care for one another. When you choose to love beyond your inner circle, when you step outside yourself to give freely, you're not just filling time. You're filling your life with meaning. And here's the shift that changes everything. You stop waiting for someone to come fill a void, and start creating love in its richest, most vibrant forms all around you. That kind of love, freely given, deeply rooted, isn't just more resilient. It's more real. It nurtures happiness not by chance, but by choice. It connects you to the world not out of neediness, but out of generosity. And now, it's time to challenge one of the oldest myths we've ever been told. That relationships, especially marriage, are the ultimate key to happiness. We've heard it all our lives. In songs, in films, in fairy tales. The idea that you need to find the one to be whole. That love, marriage, and a happily ever after are the final prize in life's journey. But here's a Stoic truth that might just reframe that story for you. Happiness doesn't come from other people. It comes from living a life in harmony with your values, guided by wisdom, reason, and virtue. Now don't get me wrong, relationships and marriage can absolutely be beautiful, even profound. They can offer companionship, growth, and shared meaning. But before we dive into what Stoicism says about love and commitment in relationships, let's take a moment to ask. What truly makes a relationship worthy, not just of your heart, but of your life? So now that we've begun to see through the myth that romantic love is the only path to happiness, it's time to go even deeper, to the root of where happiness truly begins, within yourself. Yes, relationships can be beautiful. They can offer companionship, support, even a sense of shared purpose. But the wisdom of Stoicism reminds us of a powerful truth. Placing the entire weight of your happiness on another person's shoulders is not only unrealistic, it's also unfair. To you, and to them. No one, no matter how loving or well-intentioned, can carry that burden for you. Your joy, your peace, your fulfillment, that's your job. And the beauty of being single is that it gives you the space and freedom to fully embrace that responsibility. This chapter of life is your chance to build your inner fortress, as the Stoics would say. To develop your own foundation of strength, wisdom, and self-respect. To take joy in your personal victories. To find peace in your daily rituals. To grow, not for someone else, but for yourself. And no, this isn't about shutting out love or companionship. It's not about isolation or self-imposed loneliness. It's about learning to be whole before you decide to share that wholeness with someone else. When you stop chasing happiness through other people, and start cultivating it from within, everything changes. You no longer enter relationships out of fear. Not out of loneliness. Not because the world tells you it's time. Instead, you enter with clarity. With confidence. With joy already blooming inside you. You're not looking for someone to fix you. You're simply open to someone who complements your already fulfilling life. This Stoic approach to love is grounded, mature, and sustainable. It recognizes that while sharing your life with someone can enhance your happiness, it is not the source of it. The true source lies in your thoughts, your choices, your habits, and most importantly, your response to life's ups and downs. So the next time you feel that pang, that whisper of longing for a relationship as if it's the final missing piece, pause. Breathe. And return to this truth. Your joy begins with you. Your fulfillment begins with you. And no one, not even the most loving partner, can give you what you haven't first given yourself. Coming up next, we'll dive into the daily practices and mental habits that help you stay grounded in that inner strength, especially in a world that constantly pushes us outward in search of validation. After grounding yourself in the understanding that happiness begins within, not with another person, it's time to talk about what truly defines a meaningful life, virtue, purpose, and fulfillment. Yes, relationships and marriage absolutely have their place. They can bring joy, growth, and companionship. But let's be clear, they are not the ultimate judges of your happiness. That responsibility? It lies with you. That power? It's been yours all along. And once you embrace this Stoic truth, something remarkable happens. You no longer feel less than for being single. You stop viewing your life as incomplete or in waiting. Instead, you become content, truly content, not because you've settled, but because you've awakened. You begin to understand that the quality of your life doesn't depend on your relationship's status. It depends on how aligned your actions are with your values, how purposeful your days feel, and how deeply you commit to living with virtue. And in the context of singlehood, there is one virtue that becomes your greatest gift, your superpower, self-sufficiency. To be self-sufficient isn't to isolate yourself or live in a bubble. It's about building an inner world so rich, so stable, and so full, that anyone who enters it simply adds to the beauty, but isn't the source of it. You learn to trust yourself with your own joy. You learn to rely on your own thoughts, your own judgment, your own care. You stop needing constant approval, attention, or affection just to feel okay. You are okay, already. And here's the liberating part. When you no longer depend on others to fill your emotional gaps, you stop chasing people to validate you. You stop compromising your peace for temporary connection. You stop measuring your worth by how many people text back. Instead, you look inward. You reflect. You build. You grow. You cultivate virtues like courage, humility, patience, and wisdom, not for show, not to attract a partner, but to become the kind of person you can respect, trust, and love. This is the Stoic vision of self-sufficiency. Not a wall to keep people out, but a foundation strong enough to welcome them in, with no fear of losing yourself in the process. Because when your house is in order, when your heart is whole, every relationship you form will be built on stability, not neediness, on mutual growth, not emotional dependence. And as we turn to the next part of our journey, let's uncover the daily Stoic practices, the habits of mind and action, that make this kind of inner strength not just a theory, but a lived reality. As we've built that solid foundation of inner strength, there's one more truth that makes it all come together. When you're self-sufficient, your relationships with others are no longer built on need, but on genuine want. And that changes everything. You're no longer entering relationships hoping someone else will complete you. You're entering them as a whole, confident, fulfilled human being, someone who brings joy, presence, and depth, not someone searching for rescue or validation. When you embody this version of yourself, you stop measuring the value of your life based on who's with you. Instead, you begin to ask, what do I bring to the table? What kind of partner, friend, or teammate do I choose to be? And here's where another gift unfolds. Resilience. Life isn't smooth sailing. It never was. There are losses. There are heartbreaks. There are detours you never saw coming. But when you're emotionally and intellectually self-reliant, those challenges don't break you. They shape you. They deepen you. You begin to view obstacles as the Stoics did, not as curses to avoid, but as opportunities for growth. You learn to hold your center, to stay calm even when the world gets loud, to trust your inner compass when the map seems lost. And how is this resilience built? daily. Through the moments you spend learning, reflecting, choosing to rely on yourself. It's a quiet kind of power, earned slowly, lived deeply. But self-sufficiency isn't just emotional. It's also financial. Taking control of your money is an act of self-respect. It's about spending with awareness, saving with intention, and understanding that freedom isn't about how much you have, it's about how consciously you use it. Stoicism doesn't encourage us to chase riches endlessly. In fact, it warns us. The pursuit of wealth for wealth's sake is a trap, a never-ending hunger that only grows with feeding. Instead, it teaches us to live simply, to find joy in what's essential, and to discover that the richest life is not the one filled with things, but the one filled with clarity, freedom, and peace. And when you're single, this kind of simplicity becomes even more powerful. Because the freedom you gain isn't just the absence of obligation to a partner, it's the presence of infinite possibility. You are the architect now. You hold the pen. You draw the map. The Stoics remind us, true freedom begins in the mind. It's the ability to choose your path without fear. To live aligned with your values, not society's noise. To wake up each morning with the quiet joy of knowing your life is yours. And as we turn the page, let's look even more closely at how to wield that freedom, to build a life of purpose, discipline, and quiet daily victories that, over time, shape something extraordinary. So once you've embraced the freedom that comes from living by your own values, the question becomes, what will you do with that freedom? Because now, everything, from where you go, to what you pursue, to whom you spend your time with, is entirely up to you. And that kind of autonomy? It's not just rare. It's powerful. You're no longer navigating someone else's expectations. You're not compromising your dreams to fit into someone else's schedule. This is your journey. Your map. Your rules. It's the freedom to wake up one day and say yes to a spontaneous trip. To sign up for that pottery class just because you're curious. To explore an ambition that might have once felt too impractical or selfish. It's a chance to follow the whispers of your desires, and see where they lead. But this freedom goes even deeper. It's not just about what you do, it's about how you think. Being single offers something rare in today's fast-paced, expectation-filled world. Space. Space to reflect. To ask big questions. To challenge the norms you may have unconsciously absorbed. You're no longer bound by a standard life script. You're free to rewrite it entirely. And this is where Stoicism becomes your greatest guide. This ancient philosophy isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about reclaiming inner freedom. It teaches us that the real chains are internal, our perceptions, our impulses, our reactions. When applied to singlehood, Stoic wisdom shows us this truth. You're not just free to make choices about the world around you. You're free to choose your attitude, toward solitude, toward challenge, toward change. You start to see solitude not as something empty, but as fertile ground. A space rich with possibility. A place where your deepest self begins to speak, and you finally have time to listen. And here's something else that's often overlooked. This freedom extends into how you connect with others. Without the natural focus of a romantic relationship, your social world widens. You're free to cultivate all kinds of connections, each offering its own form of joy, insight, and depth. a deep friendship that stretches across years and miles. A new acquaintance that teaches you something unexpected. A meaningful bond in your community that makes you feel part of something larger. These relationships, though different in shape, are equally rich in substance. They fill your life not with noise, but with meaning. But there's one truth that must come next. One that Stoicism makes abundantly clear. With great freedom comes great responsibility. The autonomy of singlehood isn't a blank check for chaos or indulgence. It's a powerful invitation to take full ownership of your time, your energy, and your choices. So now that we've uncovered the freedom of being the sole architect of your life, the next step is to own it, not passively, but with purpose and clarity. Because true freedom doesn't mean doing whatever you want without thought. It means taking full responsibility for your happiness, your choices, and your direction in life. Every day becomes a conscious act. How you spend your time. Who you allow into your circle. What you choose to nurture within yourself. And Stoicism, as always, meets us right here, with its timeless invitation. Use your freedom wisely. Live not just freely, but virtuously. And make your life a force for good in the world around you. Now imagine this. You're no longer tethered to the preferences or expectations of a partner. You don't have to shape your weekends, your friendships, or your growth around someone else's path. Suddenly, the world opens up, a vast horizon of social experiences and human connection waiting to be explored. Each interaction, no matter how fleeting or deep, becomes a chance. A chance to share a part of yourself. To listen with presence. To learn something new. To offer kindness without agenda. This is what Stoicism encourages. To see life as a web of relationships, where every encounter is an opportunity to practice your values. Whether it's a heartfelt talk with a new friend, or a laughter-filled evening with a group of casual acquaintances. You're not just being social. You're living intentionally. You're cultivating empathy. You're strengthening compassion. You're practicing presence. You realize you don't need to wait for a life partner to have a full, connected, meaningful life. Every connection, big or small, is a thread in the rich tapestry of your human experience. Being single doesn't mean being alone. It means being open, to everyone, to everything, to every lesson life has to offer through its people. And with each interaction, you're not only giving, you're growing. You allow their perspectives to challenge your own. Their stories to soften your judgments. Their energy to remind you of the joy found in simple human moments. This is the heart of Stoic connection. We grow not just alone, but together. Not by clinging to others for identity, but by showing up with strength, openness, and virtue. And now, as we move forward, let's explore how this path of mindful singlehood isn't just about surviving alone, but thriving in alignment with wisdom, discipline, and emotional clarity. As you continue to engage with the world on your own terms, each connection you make becomes more than just a passing interaction, it becomes a chance to enrich your life. And perhaps, someone else's in return. Think about the freedom you now hold, the ability to explore a wide range of social settings, cultures, perspectives, and ideas. This isn't merely about expanding your social circle. It's about expanding your soul. Every person you meet carries with them a unique life, filled with stories, struggles, triumphs, and wisdom. And when you truly listen, When you open yourself to their experiences, your worldview begins to stretch. You start seeing life not only through your lens, but through theirs. You gain compassion. You cultivate perspective. You grow in humility and insight. In Stoic philosophy, this is of immense value. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, often wrote about the profound importance of recognizing our shared humanity, our common bond. In every conversation, in every connection, you're living that truth. You're honoring the unity that exists in diversity. But there's even more to it. This freedom to socialize freely and widely isn't just about exploring the world around you. It's also a tool, a mirror, for exploring the world within you. As you meet different kinds of people, you begin to notice which qualities truly resonate with you. You begin to feel which conversations leave you inspired, which interactions give you energy, and which ones drain it. Which people bring out your highest self, and which pull you away from it. This awareness is gold. Because in Stoicism, the path to wisdom always begins with self-knowledge. And what better way to deepen that self-understanding than by reflecting on the mirrors life constantly offers you through others. Being single gives you the unique gift of choosing who to spend time with, without compromise, without obligation. You can connect with anyone you wish. But that freedom invites you to be intentional. Each outing isn't just about how to pass time. It becomes a choice about how to invest your energy. Who you choose to be around. What kind of conversations you seek. What values you nourish. This isn't about chasing superficial ideals, what modern media might tell you is attractive, popular, or desirable. No. This is about something far deeper. It's about becoming clear on what aligns with your spirit. What strengthens your character. What lifts your mind and nourishes your emotional world. It's about making choices not for approval, but for truth. And as we prepare to move forward, let's take this even deeper into the realm of discipline and how it becomes the silent architect of your freedom, fulfillment, and lasting peace. So as you refine your inner world through intentional social choices, it's time to also honor the most essential part of your existence, your body, the vessel that carries you through every experience of life. Because this journey isn't just about cultivating the mind. It's about embodying your values, literally. Stoicism teaches that discipline and self-care aren't about vanity. They are acts of respect, a way of showing gratitude for your physical form and honoring the natural gift of existence itself. And here's where singlehood becomes a powerful advantage. You have the freedom, the time, space, and clarity, to build habits that serve your health without compromise. No need to navigate a partner's schedule. No pressure to adjust to someone else's meal plans or sleeping patterns. You get to ask, what works best for me? And then build your routines accordingly. Maybe you start walking each morning. Or trying out yoga, swimming, hiking, or strength training, not out of obligation, but because you're discovering the kind of movement that makes your body sing with energy. Exercise becomes less of a chore, and more of a celebration of movement. A daily act of self-respect. But this doesn't stop at fitness. When you're single, you can dive deep into other essential areas of well-being. Learning how to nourish yourself with better food choices. Studying the science of sleep. Understanding how to manage stress without external dependencies. This is holistic living, and it's 100% aligned with Stoic wisdom. Because Stoicism isn't just a philosophy for the mind. It recognizes the deep connection between body and soul, A strong body supports a clear mind. And a clear mind? It sharpens your ability to reflect, to choose wisely, and to engage fully with life's most important questions. So when you cook yourself a balanced meal, when you stretch or breathe deeply, when you commit to daily movement or regular rest, you're not just caring for your health. You're living Stoicism. You're practicing virtues like discipline, by showing up even when it's hard. Moderation, by resisting excess and choosing balance. And wisdom, by listening to your body's subtle signals and responding with care. This is how you build not just strength, but resilience. Not just fitness, but freedom, because your physical health becomes the foundation for everything else: clear thinking, inner peace, emotional clarity, and purpose-driven living. And as we now move forward, let's explore how this alignment between mind and body extends into your daily rhythms, the routines, rituals, and quiet choices that shape not just your health, but your identity. Now that we've seen how caring for the body honors your existence, let's remember one of the core Stoic truths: you can't control everything in life, but you can control how you care for yourself. And that control? It's not just about building muscle or eating greens. It's about choosing resilience, both inside and out. While we often focus on the visible results of physical health, fitness, energy, appearance, it's the invisible benefits that truly shape your life. The mental clarity after a good workout. The calm that washes over you during a quiet solo run at dawn. The release of stress in the focused breath of a deep stretch. These aren't just health habits. They're meditative rituals. Moments where the world quiets down, and you meet yourself fully. This is what Stoicism points us toward, a lifestyle where the discipline of the body supports the strength of the mind. Because when your body feels strong, your mind becomes clearer. And in that clarity, you make better choices. You respond with reason instead of impulse. You cultivate peace instead of chaos. In the stillness of early morning movement, in the rhythm of sweat and breath, there's something more happening beneath the surface. A deep reconnection with yourself. And here's the deeper beauty. Taking care of your physical health while you're single isn't just about personal benefit. It's about preparation for whatever life may bring. You're training your body to carry you through challenge. You're equipping your spirit to remain steady in hardship. You're building not just a life that looks good, but a life that holds strong, even in storms. That's Stoicism in action. True resilience isn't just emotional, it's embodied. And from here, a natural transition begins, because once your body and mind begin working in harmony, you're no longer just surviving your alone time. You're thriving in it. This isn't about randomly picking up hobbies to pass the time. It's about embarking on the deeper, richer journey of self-discovery. The kind that happens when you give yourself full permission to follow your interests, your curiosities, your inner questions, without waiting for approval or alignment with someone else's plan. Because at the heart of Stoic living is the drive to learn continuously. To grow with each moment. To treat solitude not as a void, but as a canvas for becoming. And when you're single, that canvas is wide open. Once your mind and body are aligned in health, the next horizon opens wide before you, the world of learning, exploration, and joyful curiosity. Have you ever wanted to play an instrument? Learn a new language? Take up painting, cooking, gardening, or calligraphy? Now is the time. Because when you're single, your time, your energy, and your interests are fully yours. There's no need to negotiate your evenings. No pressure to sync hobbies with someone else. You can finally follow what fascinates you, for you. And here's the truth, every new skill you learn isn't just a line on a resume. It's a declaration of your curiosity. A celebration of your growth. A powerful step toward becoming a richer, more rounded, more fascinating version of yourself. But the rewards of exploring new interests don't stop with personal fulfillment. They extend outward, like ripples on water. Each new hobby, each new pursuit, becomes a bridge. A bridge to new people. New communities. New conversations that feel alive, sincere, and filled with shared excitement. You're no longer just meeting people. You're connecting with others who are also learning, growing, and stepping outside their comfort zones. It's in these moments, sharing your journey and listening to theirs, that something beautiful happens. You become part of something larger. A web of mutual growth, laughter, encouragement, and wisdom. And this, too, is deeply Stoic. The Stoics believed in living in accordance with nature, and part of that means recognizing and honoring our connection to others. We're not islands. We're not meant to live only for ourselves. We're here to learn from each other, to grow through each other, to contribute to a greater harmony. Even more powerful? Pursuing new interests challenges you to face uncertainty head-on. To become a beginner again. To fumble, to fail, to feel unsure, and to do it anyway. This is where virtues like courage, perseverance, and humility come to life. Trying something new requires stepping beyond comfort. It requires letting go of ego and embracing the awkwardness of learning. But each time you do, you're not just learning a skill, you're becoming stronger, braver, more resilient. And let's not forget one of the most overlooked parts of Stoic living: joy. Yes, Stoicism is about discipline, virtue, and inner peace. But it's also about finding joy in the simple pleasures of life. The quiet contentment of knitting a scarf. The thrill of hitting a new personal best on a morning run. The pride that blooms when you cook a delicious meal just for yourself. These are not small things. They are moments of aliveness. They are proof that a good life isn't only built from big milestones, it's found in the small, steady steps of personal exploration. So as we move forward, let's take a deeper look at how these pursuits, the joyful ones, the challenging ones, come together to shape your daily rhythm, your internal world, and the quiet confidence of a life fully lived. Whether it's the thrill of reaching a new running milestone, or the quiet pride of preparing a dish from a cuisine you've never explored before, these moments, however small, are deeply woven into the richness of your life. They are not distractions. They are expressions of growth, of effort, of becoming. And now, as we gently bring this chapter of our journey to a close, let's pause to reflect. Being single? It's not a waiting room. It's not a void to be filled. It is a vibrant, powerful, and deeply enriching path, one that leads straight to self-discovery, inner freedom, and lasting fulfillment. It's about learning to paint the canvas of your life with bold, intentional strokes. Strokes of courage, curiosity, patience, and resilience. It's about not just enduring this season of your life, but thriving in it. Becoming more of who you truly are. Here at Stoic Journal, we're not just exploring ancient philosophy. We're uncovering how Stoic wisdom can illuminate every corner of our modern lives, from the way we breathe, move, and eat, to how we love, choose, and grow. So if something in today's conversation stirred something in you, if you felt a spark, a question, a moment of clarity, then I invite you to stay with us. Click one of the suggested videos on the screen. Dive deeper into these timeless teachings. Because our journey doesn't end here, it's only just beginning. Thank you for walking alongside us, for reflecting, for growing, and for choosing to live more intentionally. You are an essential part of this journey. And until we meet again, embrace the wisdom, live with virtue, and cherish the freedom that exists in every breath, every decision, and every precious moment of your life. You don't need someone to complete you. You were never broken. Being single isn't an empty space. It's sacred ground. A place where clarity grows, where self-respect deepens, and where you learn to be whole, on your own terms. The Stoics knew, if your peace depends on someone else, you've already lost it. But when you build a life you love, alone, you no longer fear being left. Because you know, you are your own home. You are your own calm. You are your own strength. Love will come, maybe. But you won't wait for it. You'll meet it from a place of fullness, not need. And that is true freedom. That is the Stoic way.